So after that, I was like, when we moved to Okinawa, I was like keeping my sister in the back of my mind all the time. Like, boy, I wish, they could, during the summertime, bring her up or bring her to us. Like, my stepfather at the time, I wish he could have, you know, took 2 weeks of leave to go get my sister from Virginia to bring her over to Okinawa to spend some time with us, like basically during the summer breaks. So that way, you know, during, so that way she knows that she could come over to us whenever summer break came around, kind of a thing. But that never happened, and I was like wondering. I guess I should have voiced my opinion at that time because I would have loved to have Nicole come to us to Okinawa, kind of a thing. I mean, it would have made. I mean, my stepfather, Angelo, it would have been so easy for him to just take a military hop from Okinawa, or basically at Kadena Air Force Base, to Virginia. When I say military hop, I mean like a military chartered flight, not like just a regular um, mission kind of flight, kind of a thing. But just a regular passenger flight. I'm pretty sure you get what I'm trying to say, right? Right. So I guess I should have voiced my opinion at that point, so that way we could see Nicole more. But that never happened. So I was like really bummed. But during that whole entire time that we were there, I've always had Nicole in the back of my mind because she's always my sister. She will always ever be my sister. Because just because your parents get divorced doesn't mean the kids get divorced. So that's why I'm thinking we're always gonna she's always gonna be my sister, kind of a thing. So after they got divorced, I was like, oh my god, I will never get to see Nicole ever again. And I love my sister so much. And so it took about so many years afterwards to where finally found her on Facebook. And I was like so totally happy that, that I got to find my sister again. And boy, she looked totally different. Much older, and she's very beautiful. So I was actually thrilled that I got to find my sister again. So, just to let you all know that yes, I did come out as being a trans woman on Facebook. Like, I would say 8 years ago. So, I know it's not fair for you guys because this is my first coming out video on YouTube, but the reason for that is because I needed to make sure it was, that I'm going to be accepted by my peers that I graduated high school with at on a military school. It's actually Department of Defense dependent school on a military base. So whatever you guys are thinking, oh, it's a military school. Boy, they're strict. No, 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 no. It's not like that. It's it's like just a regular high school setting. We didn't have to wear uniforms. We could just wear, you know, regular clothes like everybody else in the US could, kind of a thing where we've done the exact same thing that every kid in the US was doing, and that is, going out for parties, drinking, smoking, that kind of stuff. The regular high school stuff. But we were doing the same thing on a military installation. But yes, because of the fact that we are um, dependents, I know I'm going all over the place, but bear with me. Even though that we were dependents of a military personnel, um, yes, there are rules and regulations that we have to abide by. It's, just like anything in life outside of the military, where there's rules and regulations that you have to abide by. But being I guess for being a civilian child, not a military dependent child, I guess you guys had it. I will say this: you guys actually had it made, and for all of us dependent kids growing up in the military lifestyle, we were actually envy of that because growing up on a military base and having so much rules and regulations upon us being at that age was, oh my god, so ridiculous. So that's why I'm saying all of you civilian kids had it made. Yeah, granted, you still had to follow uh, the law of the land, but sometimes you guys will end up rebelling, and that's perfectly normal. But for being a dependent child in the military, we not only have to still follow rules and regulations back in the like how it is back in the United States, like civilian kids wise, um, like following the law, but being a military dependent, we have to follow the same law that is back in the US, but we have to follow other rules and regulations besides just the standard law. We had to conduct ourselves in a manner of pleasing to the military. Like, we have to be respectful in everything that we have to do, even though that sometimes we do rebel because we were kids anyway. But anyway, um, so I graduated in 1998 at Kubusaki High on Kadena Air Force Base, Okinawa, Japan. And so, because of the fact that I've, had relationships, some of the kids that I graduated were friends, and some were just, acquaintances. So, but the ones that I count as my friends are obviously on my friends list on Facebook. Um, I had to make sure that they were going to be really accepting of who I am and what I am. Because, yeah, granted, they see me in one way. They've never seen me, in this way by being a trans woman. So I needed to make sure that it was actually okay, you know, with them first. And yes, I did tell my family that I was doing this, and yet my older brother, he's getting the hang. He's actually he's getting more accepting of me transitioning. My baby brother, oh my god, my baby brother Ray is like, he doesn't know how to accept this. So he's having a hard time with this. And I got to understand from his point of view, and even my mom, um even my mom is having a very hard time, accepting of this change that I'm going through. So I think it was at the age of 31 or 32 was when I decided to actually come out. And yes, I even had to tell my ex girlfriend that I'm coming out of the closet, and I couldn't just continue going through life living a lie, because I've always known that I've always wanted to be a girl. I've always wanted to, have my own boobs and my own vagina. And so my ex and I were still good friends. So I like to say that she's a really good girlfriend of mine. Now that I'm in transition, when I say girlfriend, doesn't mean like in a relationship anymore. Because of the fact that I'm in transition, if I ever get with another person, another female, I would have to refer her as my partner. So that way it's not confusing. So my ex and I are really good girlfriends. All because of the fact that we have, we still have things in common, but we still have one thing majorly in common, and that is we still have our daughter, kind of a thing. And okay, yes, my ex and I are no longer together, like physically or sleeping in the same bedroom, kind of thing, and not being in a committed relationship. But even we still live together, but we're no longer being intimate with each other anymore because of the fact that um, my ex, she is more attracted towards men. And so, because of the fact that I finally came out of the closet towards her, um, we had to break up because of it. And so, we're still together, all due to the fact that we have a child together, and our child, which of course our daughter, she's autistic. And because she's autistic, she doesn't do very well with, changes. So we're still living together for right now. At some point, yes, we will go ahead and live separately. But I think it will be um, a whole lot better that we wait until she's a little bit older. Yeah, my daughter right now is like 9 years old, but still, we, because of the fact that she's autistic, she wouldn't fully understand why we are no longer living together. So at this stage of her life, we're still living together because of her being autistic, and she wouldn't understand. So when she gets older, like maybe in her early teens, then we can actually sit her down and let her know that, both her mommies, she calls me mommy, or she calls me mom, and she calls my ex mamas. So that way she can actually differentiate from the both of us. So yes, I actually came out of the closet when my daughter was 1 years old. And that's why, you know, it took about 8 years for me to come out on YouTube. Um, as a trans woman, single mom, kind of a thing. Because, I wanted to really make sure that everybody that I knew was fully accepting the fact that I'm going through a change, through a transition. And I wanted to make sure that this was actually right for me because of the fact um, that going through a transition is, a really, it's a big decision that a trans person goes through, be it a trans woman or a trans male or a trans man. It's a big decision. So I wanted to make sure that this was actually something I wanted to do. And that's why it took so long for me to actually come out on YouTube to you know letting you know that this is actually something I want to do. So therefore, um, because of the fact that this is what I wanted to do, to be quite honest with you, I'm already on HRT. That's for those who doesn't know what HRT means. That means I can't speak, but hormone replacement therapy. So that means I have to take, right now, I'm actually taking injections for my estrogen, and it's called estradiol. And so here's the little vial that I take. I take this every 7 days. So I originally started taking this on, you know, on a Wednesday when I got my first vial. This is actually my second vial. I'm getting my third one pretty soon, I hope. So that way I don't miss a dose, because I only have enough for possibly one more dose, kind of a thing. So later on, I will have to call. Oh, I didn't even let you guys know about this first. Um, like I said, please forgive me. I'm all over the place. Um, okay. I was actually in the military myself after being a military dependent. So I went into the Navy. I did my full 4 year contract, and then I got, separated from the military because I was thinking, you know, the military has done so much for me as being a military dependent. I might as well, give back to the military, kind of a thing. And so I went into the Navy on. Actually, okay, to be quite honest, I didn't do my full 4 year contract. I got. I'm going to be honest with you all. I did get separated from the military. Um, I entered into the military on December of 2000 and got out of February of 2002. But you're thinking, oh, I guess you can. Um, it wasn't the fact that I couldn't, make it. It's just that uh, I got disciplined while I was in the military because of the fact that I kept on reporting for duty. I kept okay. I kept on getting late to report for muster. That's what we call it in the Navy. Um, but in civilian life, it's called, you know being late for work, basically. So because of the fact that I kept on missing muster, um, my command, um, my command at the time was VFA 137 out of NAS Lemoore, California. But our ship was home ported out of San Diego Naval Base. And our ship was the USS Constellation CV 64. So, but you're probably wondering, okay, you got out early. I guess you got dishonorably discharged. No, I didn't get dishonorably discharged. I got out under honorable conditions, meaning that it's still with honors that I got out, and that still allows me to this day to be able to go to the VA. And yes, that makes me actually a veteran because at least I completed one 1+ years of on active duty, because by definition, if any military personnel served more than a year of active duty service, is actually considered a veteran. Okay? Now, just to prove that I'm not lying, because yeah, I there's a lot of people out there like to claim that they're veterans, but in reality, they're not. So, just to show proof that I am actually a veteran, and I'm being honest, this is my veteran's ID card. You only get this if you've actually served and been discharged from the military with honorable and under honorable conditions. If you got discharged with a general other than honorable and dishonorably discharged, you don't get to go and try to, basically, you don't get this card. Okay? You have to be honorably discharged and under honorable condition to be considered as a veteran. And that's what I am. I'm a veteran. So, yes, I did go to Great Lakes, Illinois for boot camp. I was part of Division 102, and I went during winter time. So, the reason why I chose to go during winter time, instead of like during the summertime, because during the summertime, there's a lot of, just graduated from high school kind of kids. I didn't want to be, with a bunch of kids. I wanted to be with other adults that, you know, that decided to join, kind of a thing. But, and so right now, I am getting my medication, like, like I said, my estradiol that's in this box.